Greetings, relatives. I don't really celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, but I do ceremonies and family traditions that are recognized as being part of what we call Hispanic Heritage Month. I'm indigenous. I'm an indigenous Mexican. I'm an indigenous woman from various tribes in the United States, and my family married into the indigenous peoples of what we call today Mexico. And so I think of it more about our original teachings and how they either were hidden to survive or are maintained in our families or became blended sometimes with other traditions that were brought through the process of colonization. And so in that way, I think that our relations and how that's part of who I am.
Okay. Well, what I do for Hispanic Latino Heritage Month, like I said, I don't really celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month per se, but I think there is a lot of cultural events around this time of year that I do practice and celebrate. One being Day of the Dead and putting up an altar or ofrendas for those relatives that have passed away. Practice or beliefs of being able to honor our relatives by placing an altar, putting pictures of those loved ones that have been deceased, putting out their favorite foods, putting out candles, water, etc., flowers, to honor those that have passed on. I think that's one of the things that I practice during this time of year, during this month. But I think also as well some other feast days that I practice as well throughout this month as well, and being able to celebrate those feast days through the Catholic religion or practices of those feast days for those saints like Saint Francis, Tikawepa, and others where we do celebrate and feast and cook food and have go to mass, go to church, have fiestas, and again it may vary from culture to culture, because I also think there's a lot of mixes that happen, especially with us that live in the Tucson area. There's a rich culture of Latino indigenous cultures that these things are intertwined with each other with these celebrations. So I think these are some of the things during this time of year that I am practice and that my family practices and that I try to teach or educate our youth, our Latino communities, those that are also maybe grieving or going through loss, but being able to use these traditional ways to help people to understand the importance of these cultural values, these cultural ceremonies that have been passed on from generation to generation.
So, Hispanic Heritage Month is not really something I grew up celebrating. I'm from South Texas and I was born in northern Mexico. And because the population is about 95% Latino, mostly Mexican American, we didn't really feel the need to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. It always felt like Hispanic Heritage Month. But Hispanic Heritage Month is one of those celebrations that's really important because it brings awareness to the diversity in Latino communities. Even the name itself, right? Hispanic is a contested term. So it allows us to voice those differences and partner with people that will allow us to voice those differences and the multiplicity of what it means to be Latino in the US. My favorite traditions are, again, not part of Hispanic Heritage Month, but my favorite Latino traditions are celebrating Day of the Dead. It's one of my favorite holidays, and I love seeing how US culture is embracing it. And I know that there's a debate about the cultural appropriation of it versus appreciation, but it's one of those holidays or one of those celebrations that really bridges different cultures because we all die, unfortunately. So it's a celebration of life and memory, and we can all relate to that, which is why I think so many people like it. It makes sense that we kind of start Hispanic Heritage with Mexico's Independence Day. They say it's September because so much of the population in the U.S. is Mexican American. And then we end with Day of the Dead, or a little bit before Day of the Dead, for Hispanic Heritage. So it's kind of bookmarked between those two holidays.